What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I have a pretty interesting arena team that I want to share with you all. So I've been trying to help some players out the past few weeks get from silver 4 into gold 1 3v3. It's a nightmare. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It's disgusting. I know that. But silver 4 in the yellow, almost a green, is way different than silver 4 in the yellow, almost a red. If you're there, you already know that. There's no reason to even tell you, but it's awful. Okay, so all the stuff I'm telling you is stuff you already know. But I've been trying to make some new teams, trying to change it up a little bit, try some things that maybe you have that you haven't thought of trying, that you can try in either your defense or in your offense. But defense specifically, this team was sent to me by Sollock, and he said that this is the most annoying team he's faced in a long time. Basically, it was 4 champions, specifically these 4 champions right here. All 4 of them in the team that he went against were all in Stone Skin, so that's a pretty legit build if you want to try it. But Helicath, Ultimate Deathknight, Mithrala, and Brachus. I'm going to do a few fights with this, show you guys kind of how I'm thinking it works. But I thought, you know, that's actually a pretty interesting team. You don't see Brachus used very often, so I'm like, hey, let's go ahead and try it. Now, if you don't have Brachus, you can use probably Rhodos, you can probably use Leoris, Skullcrown, Ragash, Stoutus. You can probably use a lot of different champions who can either survive the nukes, have an unkillable built into their kit, or just revive on death like you have with Brachus. So a lot of different options, a lot of very different, interesting options, but it's a team that really I hadn't seen before. So I figure, hey, let's go ahead and give it a shot. Now, as far as the teams that it can go against, Hegemon should be perfectly fine. Kymar, if your Mithrala is high enough resistance / accuracy to actually resist the sleep, then it should be perfectly fine as well. I don't have everybody in Stone Skin, so it's not going to be perfect, but against Hegemon should be fine. Kymar should be fine. Fast teams that you can survive the nuke against should be fine. Even some slower teams with some fairly not super tanky champions, okay? You have 1 damage dealer here. Obviously, he's not going to do enough damage to kill everybody. We do have a swift parry Brachus, which obviously came in pretty handy there. My Helicath could use Stone Skin, would be nice, but I haven't put him in that. Haven't put him in Stone Skin. Here we go, block damage. This is very interesting, okay? But like I was saying, Torments, Warlords, Yumikos, it's not going to work against those. Now, this is very cool because Helicath's passive, well, we'll read it after this, okay? Let's go ahead and get some kills with Brachus, maybe. We got the unkillable there. We also have 1 turn of block damage. Just kidding, because Arbiter said that's mine. But no big deal, because if Brachus gets killed, he's going to come back to life and then smack somebody. And he's going to smack him. Just kidding. He's not going to smack him because Lydia is a pretty daggone good counter to Brachus. However, the other thing that we have here that's very cool is that every time anybody under or with block damage gets attacked, Helicath counterattacks. Specifically, this ability right here. Counterattacks with a default skill whenever an ally is hit while under block damage buff. Can occur once per enemy turn. This is so cool because Ultimate Deathknight is built to be very, very slow. Like I'm talking 113 speed slow. So that block damage is going to stay up on him basically the entire match. Okay, and then my Helicath is built to 281, so he's going to come back around very often and get that block damage reapplied to Ultimate Deathknight, meaning that Helicath is going to be counterattacking anytime the enemy attacks, because every time the enemy attacks, if they're doing an AoE ability, it's going to hit Ultimate Deathknight, it's going to hit somebody under block damage, Helicath's going to counter. The first hit from every ability is also going to hit Ultimate Deathknight, Helicath's going to counter. So if you put him in like a taunting set, a stun set, a frost set, frostbite set, there's tons of different things. Obviously frost and frostbite, they're not going to apply on the hits, but taunting, provoke, sleep possibly could be super annoying. Now you do have to watch out for the whole polymorph stuff, but Helicath makes this team very, very interesting. Obviously he's not the biggest damage dealer, but build him with 100% crit and those will add up. Mithrala, her petrification messes the team up, and since champions or most teams in the arena don't run many debuffers anymore, especially if you're using polymorph on your team, like put polymorph on Mithrala, Ultimate Deathknight, Helicath, and then Brachus use something else. If you have polymorph throughout your team, the enemy's probably not going to be stripping, and if they do, they're probably going to get sheeped. So I don't know, I think this team's very interesting. It's actually been quite a bit of fun, and I think it's a pretty legit option for a lot of people. The Heffrack did nothing. The Heffrack did absolutely nothing to me whatsoever, and yeah, I'm not even scared of killing this Arbiter if I do. Didn't quite kill her, but now they have fear. Gotta be careful, gotta be mindful of that fear, proc and polymorph. But if not a big deal. Check this out. All right, we're gonna decrease attack on everybody. Hopefully Heffrack does a hit, or somebody does a hit. Let's see. Nobody did a hit. They're all feared. But Brackus places increased attack on himself, and now we can kill the Arbiter. Boom, 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 boom. And she's dead. Heffrack does a big hit. That does nothing. He does a big threatening hit. That does absolutely nothing. I honestly think block damage champions, Roshkard and Helicath, are very underrated in the arena. Used to, actually, you really never saw them. But it's literally blocking damage for 2 turns. And since slow champions are so popular, specifically Ultimate Deathknight, other slow champions on defense are popular as well. There's not a lot of champions who can ignore block damage. I mean, you got Rhodos, you got George, you got a few, but most of them have to just attack into a champion who's blocking damage. And since you don't run many strippers, it's a pretty nice team, to be honest. It's a pretty interesting team. I'd say most people have drastically cut back on building buff strip champions strictly because of polymorph. I mean, you can't risk polymorph in your team if you need to apply those debuffs, especially if the person has their polymorph champions towards the front of the team. So like when building this team and laying out the champions, like if you're going to use it on defense, you're going to want the polymorph champions towards the front. So in this situation right here, we have Mithrala. Okay, say we had polymorph on Mithrala, Ultimate Deathknight, and Helicath. It wouldn't really matter the order. If you wanted your Ultimate Deathknight to have the least chance of getting polymorphed them, or least chance of getting debuffs applied to him, put him in the 3rd spot. Whereas in this situation, it's technically best to have Ultimate Deathknight in the front, and then these 2 don't really matter, because when the enemy does their strips or places their bombs, places decreased defense, whatever it is, it's going to go Ultimate Deathknight, Mithrala, Helicath, Brackus. If Ultimate Deathknight polymorphs the enemy, then nobody behind him is going to get any of the debuffs. That's going to be the most ideal situation. Obviously, I don't have polymorph on any of the champions other than Ultimate Deathknight, but I want to use Mithrala's aura. This time I don't actually need it though, so we'll keep him there. Let's go ahead and put him there. Let's try a few more, and then we'll jump into some 3v3 content. The 3v3 stuff's going to be maybe a little bit more relatable, possibly. I mean, the teams are going to be gold 4 3v3 teams. It's going to be a little more challenging. These ones are hit and miss. Sometimes they're challenging, sometimes they're not. Let's go ahead and see. Sheep Boy, Nishak. Nishak was a goat, or was a goat? He's not a goat. He's a rat. He was a goat. He was a rat, and now he's a sheep. It's simple as that. And Helicath is popping off with the counters. Boom, boom, boom. I love it. Absolutely love it. Give that increased attack on Brackus on himself. Next turn. Oh, the decreased attack as well. Oh, that feels bad. But guess what? Helicath's going to counterattack. There we go. Boom. He's counterattacking everybody. I really want to try him with stun set or provoke or something. But then you kind of got to be careful about the polymorph. But imagine, every time he's attacking, if he provokes, they're still going to attack Ultimate Deathknight with their 1 hit. And then Helicath's going to attack him again. And it's like a constant cycle of potentially being provoked. If you had him with polymorph, threw him with fearsome presence, he's going to have a higher chance to place polymorph, higher chance to place provoke from that set. Man, that could be nasty. But I use mine specifically in Iron Twin, so I can't really go with changing his gear too much. But dang, that would be annoying. That would be like super lockdown. Super lockdown team, just constant provoke, constant. You could do stun too. Stun arguably could be better. It's got a lower chance to land, but could stun him. Stun him's great. So actually, no, I think provoke would actually be best, because provoke, they still attack, and you do want them attacking because Ultimate Deathknight's going to soak that. He's going to have block damage as well, so Helicath's going to continue the counterattack. Yeah, I like that quite a bit actually. I don't want this video to be too long. We're checking out the time there. We're at almost 9 minutes. I'm curious about this team, though. I got a feeling they're just going to be faster. Actually, that's good if they're faster. I want Kymar to polymorph. I should have put Mithrala in the lead. Dang it. Hopefully we can resist the sleep. If we can, it's going to be perfect. If not, it's going to be a little bit sketchy. There we go. We resisted the sleep. Cleanse everything. Helicath comes in with the block damage. And Baron, does he ignore block damage? I think he does, but let's see. I guess we're about to find out, right? Let's go ahead and maybe let's kill him. Let's just not even find out. Okay, here we go. Okay, he does ignore block damage, but he doesn't ignore Swift Parry. So Swift Parry, boom, there we go, beautiful. Let's go ahead and do this A2 ability. I kind of hate that Sifi's a sheep, because now I'm just gonna use this A1 here. That should kill him. Got petrification, not great, but we do have Swift Parry on Brackus. We do have the res still available. So we should be in an okay spot, hopefully. But even if we lose, this is still a decent example of how this team actually works. That's perfect right there. That's actually the best thing that could have happened just now. Oh, so close. That almost didn't work. We have a ton of heals from Brackus. His abilities heal him for so much. Unfortunately, we got the petrification. Got to be careful with our attacks right now. Get some continuous heal on him. Just use his A1 on Kymar. Boom. There we go. We dodged the first petrification hit. That's very nice. If we can cleanse him, it's going to be ideal. Mithrala's going like 286, I think. So she's pretty fast. Got a weak hit on Brackus. Perfect from Kymar, so he couldn't strip any of those buffs. Basically full HP. Get a big hit on him. Boom. And now he's dead. Beautiful. I love that. So let's go ahead and save that. Wait for Mithrala to use her A2 one more time. I think my Mithrala should get another turn. Perfect. So now we cleanse that. So there's no more petrification chance, no more hex, none of that nonsense. And then Brackus just does some Brackus things and kills Mithrala. So you can see how annoying right there Swift Parry on Brackus is. I mean, we stopped the Baron from killing him, which had the Baron killed him, then he would have just rezzed, killed some people, and then possibly died again. So Swift Parry on Brackus is actually pretty awesome. That's a pretty legit team that we just beat as well. With, I'd say, a relatively achievable team. We'll talk about the gearing in just a second. But there we go. 11 minutes. Let's go ahead and do one 3v3 match. I'll probably try to skip the first two, and then we'll just do the one legit. Let's see. We got some Kymar action there. Man, 3v3, it's difficult because all these teams are super slow, and this team doesn't do amazing against super slow teams. This up here, we have Lydia, Cardiel, Helicath, and Cardinal. It could work. They don't have any super annoying debuffs. No, they have block debuffs from Cardiel, which he may not open with that ability. I think he usually opens with his A3. So let's go ahead and try that. Why not, right? Cardinal's going to res, but we're going pretty slow. We'll give it a shot. These other two teams I really don't care about. I'll let them play out. But then after this, I'll show you guys the builds of all these champions. You guys can try it out if you want. Of course, let me know down below, what is the most annoying team that you've come against in the arena? Also, I may be going live on YouTube later today. So if you're watching the video to this point, maybe check it out. I may be around later on. Not for sure. So here we go with A2 ability. Placing some Hex on Lydia. Not a huge deal. I just really wanted the increased attack for Brackus because Cardiel is just going to cleanse it anyways. As far as this goes, we really don't need to kill anybody, to be honest. But we can go ahead and start working on some res. We'll just use this A2. We'll save his A3. The A3 is going to give us the ability to actually place increased attack on ourselves, so we'll save that for a little bit longer. Helicath and Stoneskin is interesting. I personally like Swift Parry a little bit more for him, but I know he's pretty popular in Stoneskin as well. It's just Stoneskin doesn't work so well if the enemy is going really slow and they have reaction and stuff. Then Stoneskin is kind of just a dead set because you're just going to hit into reaction anyways. Whereas Swift Parry can activate later in the match and it could be a lot more valuable. So there we go. We got a few counterattacks from Helicath. Very, very nice. Block actives, block buffs, a lot of nonsense going on. The smite, I guess it killed him. Sweet. Cleanse all that nonsense. We don't need none of that stuff bogging us down. All right, so we're just going to do a single target hit. Actually, let's do Cardiel. Yeah, Cardiel. Cardiel and Cardinal mess me up. So she's going to res, of course. Not a big deal. Know how to play around it. Helicath attacks, and then Helicath's like, nah, you don't attack my champions with block damage. I'm just going to kill you. Beautiful. All right, so there we go. Helicath, he's doing some good damage. 5k per hit, and he's not built for crit damage. He has 100% crit rate, but he could definitely be built to hit a lot harder. But having that increase of defense from Mithrala gives him even that much more damage. So Mithrala is a very, very important part of this team. Obviously the cleanse and so much else that she brings. We'll just use his A1. Hits pretty hard. Go ahead and shut down that Cardiel, not Cardinal. Let's go ahead and finish off this chick. Also, Mithrala is a pretty good solo champion in the arena. Like, there's been a lot of times where I've gone against a Mithrala, may have like 1 or 2 champions left, and she actually wipes up my team. Strangely enough, it's actually a relatively common occurrence. No, actually, I'll take it back. Mithralas don't commonly solo my champion. That's pretty bad if so. We're going to go ahead and let this play out. Cupidus versus AoE champions. You know what's going to happen, right? Kymar AoE, Torment AoE, Stoutus AoE. Cupidus just deletes them. I mean, that's really all there is to that. Like, Cupidus is a fun champion. Kind of need Necrit, though. Difficult to make him work without Necrit. Necrit just brings so much for Cupidus. So that team is pretty specific. You need Necrit, you need Cupidus, you need Venus, and then after that, you get one other slot. Duchess just fills it perfectly. We'll try this one out. This team is probably not going to work too well, honestly. Like, we may kill this Duchess. I don't know. I don't know if I even want to sit through it, to be honest. We don't have any answer for Marichka, so never mind. I need to bring Lydia if I want to answer Marichka there. But there we go. We got 2 wins, 1 loss. I didn't even care about the other 2, honestly. I really just wanted to showcase that first one. So let's go ahead and jump in here, talk about these champions builds. So we have, first up, let's talk about Mithrala. So Mithrala is specifically for my Hydra stuff right now. So she's pretty fast, but I also built her to do some arena stuff. So she cleanses, goes first. She can cleanse Hegemon. So having her in Stone Skin works well. Hydra, she works well. Just overall, solid build. Good HP, good defense, good speed, depending on where you're at. Obviously, if you're lower in the arena, 299 may be as fast as your enemy arbiters. You don't need that. Good HP or good accuracy and resistance, depending on where you're at as well. As far as her skills, she's fully booked. Masteries, this is what I currently have. Now, next champion we have is Ultimate Deathknight. So he's built very, very slow with reaction gear. If you don't have reaction, just put him in 6 pieces of Stone Skin. Not a huge deal. If you don't have 6 pieces of Stone Skin, try to get him as much reaction if you can. If you don't have reaction or Stone Skin, you're going to just need to build him super tanky. You don't need to build him as slow because there's no actual reason if you don't have Stone Skin. 4 pieces Stone Skin is even pretty good, but Defiant Gear, Untouchable, Immunity, Bolster, any set that's going to give extra benefit to the rest of your team is very important. If you don't have reaction or Stone Skin, you don't need to be super slow. You can make him a little bit faster, unless you're trying to get that combo with Helicath plus Ultimate Deathknight to actually work. Here we go, he's fully booked. Masteries, he has Fearsome Presence to help boost the chance of landing Polymorph as well as that Provoke. My Ultimate Deathknight actually does have some accuracy to actually place the Provoke. It's pretty annoying, I'd say. Helicath, he could be Stone Skin, he could be Stun Gear, he could be Provoke Gear, which I think Provoke would be very, very interesting. I would love to get him in 3 pieces of reaction plus Provoke and see how it worked. But unfortunately, he's specifically only for my Iron Twins, so I can't move him. He's just too good in Iron Twins. He's fully booked, very important, and he has no masteries. Okay, I think we could change that. We could definitely change that. I don't know what masteries I'd even pick for him, to be honest. Brachus, we have these masteries. I actually build him fairly fast. One of my faster nukers that I build because he doesn't have any reason to be slow. Like, he's going to revive whenever they kill him, and I want as much damage in many turns as possible, basically. So there we go. He is fully booked. His artifacts, Swift Parry. I actually seen this idea originally from one of Shinny's videos, and it's definitely a pretty awesome build. So check it out. I'll try to leave his video link down below as far as his Swift Parry Brachus build goes. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. I love Swift Parry Brachus. Been going pretty well so far. I may actually start using Brachus more often. I may even throw this team on my defense. I'm curious. Let's put it on my defense right now, actually. It may not work very well, but let's see. We'll go ahead and plug this in. Boom, boom, boom. We'll put Mithrala in the front, just in case they bring Kymar against my team or something like that. Something weird, you know. Noble is actually a very good champion as well. Some people say he's not. Some people say he's just +1 ninja, but no. He's actually a pretty good champion. So don't disagree with that. And next champion, who do we have? Helicath, duh. But nah, seriously though, Noble, I actually kind of like him, which is weird because most people hate him. Most people are like, oh, this is a terrible champion. All right, so with Ultimate Deathknight, we'll open with that. And then him, it doesn't really matter, honestly. Helicath, prioritize that. There we go. All right, guys. So with that said, thank you all very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. Best of luck if you try out this team. Let me know your most annoying arena team, whether it's yours or one you faced. With that said, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you all in the next video.